किती लागणार की आता 10% लागते डेलीवर
दोन आठवड्याचं तर काम आहे ते होतं का.
Hello, good evening all. I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Sorry, I could not take the newspaper class in the morning today. So we will have it now. Can you all see the newspaper on your screen now? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So we will be having a quick, the review at today's newspaper. That if there is anything important news with respect to the UPSC's prelims as well as mains exam point of view. So left hand side, there is one news related to the National Investigating Agency. So those who wanted police cover would pay me for a threat call. That's what Bishnoi has told to NIA. So National Investigating Agency, which we have already seen, GS paper 3, last topic, that is various security agencies and their mandate. So please read this article to just understand that how the Bishnoi is being investigated by NIA. If you don't know what is NIA in detail, then today you will be going and check it out. What is National Investigating Agency, how it has been established, and what is its mandate. तो नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज का मैंडेट क्या है वो आपको देखना है. एंड रिसेंटली देयर वेयर सम इश्यूज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द मिसयूज ऑफ नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी बाय द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट टू देयर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज एंड अपोजिट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज. तो नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज का मिसयूज किया जा रहा है बाय द रूलिंग पार्टी. दैट्स व्हाट बीइंग क्रिटिसाइज्ड. तो ये दो पॉइंट्स आपको देखने हैं. व्हाट इज एनआईए and how the NIA is being misused by the ruling party. Next is Prime Minister's meeting. Center directs opening supply lines in Manipur and PM chairs the meeting. So we know that in Manipur for the last few days there is continuous violence is going on, which has become one of the very important internal security threat for India. So Prime Minister has taken a meeting with senior ministers and officials to address the issue of violence in Manipur. So he has taken the stock of the situation and taking the steps. That's what you can say. That the direction to ensure essential supplies reach to the people of the Manipur is a part of the steps being taken to restore the peace in the state where ethnic clashes erupted on May 3. तो GS पेपर 4 में अगर क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है कि अगर कोई एरिया है वहां पर पिछले कुछ दिनों में वहां पर वायलेंस हुआ है, वहां पर राइट्स हुआ है, so what measures and steps will be taken by you as a district magistrate to you can say restore the peace. ऐसा अगर आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है तो you should write this point that of course you need to ensure that the essential supplies are reaching to the people of that particular area. Understood how the question can be framed on this particular issue? तो GS पेपर 4 का भी जो प्रिपरेशन है वो भी आधा प्रिपरेशन आपका न्यूज़पेपर से हो जाता है. Because in GS paper 4 they do give some situation, they give you certain the you can say hypothetical situation, and UPSC asks the question that what steps will be taken by you or what decision will be taken by you and why. ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है. तो यहाँ पर हम देख रहे हैं the union government is trying to bring the normalcy in Manipur by ensuring that the essential supplies reaching to the people of Manipur as a part of these steps being taken to restore the peace in the state where ethnic clashes were erupted in May. So the meeting Monday followed an all-party meeting. As we all know, that an all-party meeting was convened by the Union Home Minister Saturday to discuss the ground situation and measures that could be taken immediately. So दो चीजें हैं. एक तो क्या किया जा सकता है, a dialogue can be started with the aggrieved party, an all-party meeting, all the people, all the stakeholders in that, the violence. जिन लोगों की वजह से वायलेंस हो रहा है, जिनके जो इश्यूज है, पहले उनके साथ में चर्चा की जाए. फिर उसके बाद essential supply should be supplied to the common people so that the peace can be restored back. Right? So GS paper 4 case study. Is it clear? Omkar, is it clear to you how this news will be helpful for you in writing the answer in GS paper 4? This will be specifically in GS paper 3 as well. If at all the question is asked with respect to the, the steps to be taken to ensure the internal security in northeastern state, वहां तो आपको ये है, but उसके अलावा in GS paper 4 also such type of article will be helpful for you writing the answer. Next article, we don't need to do much to take back POK, says Rajnath Singh. So Pak occupied Kashmir जो area है, after 1949, the war between India and Pakistan, some of the territory of Kashmir is under the control of the Pakistan. That is what is called as POK, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So as per India's defense minister, अगर हमें वो वापस लेना है, if India wants to take it back, then we don't need to do much. We can take it very easily. That's what the defense minister of India said. That's what he told to Pakistan. Fix your own house. पाकिस्तान ने यही कहा है, इंडिया ने पाकिस्तान को यह कहा है कि आपके खुद का घर संभाल लीजिए. You don't need to focus on India. That's what he said. Now let's move on to the next page. Okay, here there is one, Maharashtra speaker has told to the police that ensure Gau Rakshakas are not booked in false cases. Why he said so? That's what we can check it out. Is my voice audible to all of you? Can you all hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So MSME day. Was there any question in this year's prelims exam with respect to MSME? Sagar, was there any question in this year's prelims exam with respect to MSME? Before exam also, I have discussed so many times about micro, small and medium enterprises, and the question has been asked in this year's prelims exam. किसी को याद है what was the question with respect to the MSME in this year's prelims exam? Omkar, Sagar, Sahil. Sahil, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what was the question with respect to the MSME in this year's prelims exam, which I have discussed in the class? याद नहीं है. So MSME से related question था, ये तो याद है कम से कम? Yes or no?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
तो सागर लक्षात आहे का प्रश्न काय होता?
सर ते PLI स्कीम वरती क्वेश्चन होता ना सर?
No, specifically MSME च्या बाबतीत एक प्रश्न होता. The question was said that as per MSME Act, which among the following is considered as a medium enterprises in India? Clear?
ओके सर, ठीक है सर.
Okay. So question was that as per the MSME Act, which among the following is considered as the medium enterprises, and they have given the option that around the turnover between 15 crore to around 20 crore to 30 crore or 15 crore to 50 crore. That is defined as the medium enterprise. Do you remember?
हाँ सर, आला सर लक्षात.
Fine. So this is MSME Day, International MSME Day. So what is the importance of the MSME for India? That is what is explained here. Every year in prelims exam as well as in the mains exam, the question is asked with respect to MSME. Can anybody tell me what is the significance and importance of MSME, that every year UPSC to ask question both in prelims as well as in mains exam? What is the significance and importance of micro, small, medium enterprises in India? Srishti.
Yes, sir. So it creates more job after agriculture and contribute GDP.
How much? How much of the India's GDP is, that goods and services in India are produced by a micro, small, and medium enterprises through MSME?
So approx 30%.
Approx 30% of the total GDP.
Yes, sir.
And the same MSME also provides the employment, or you can say the job, for around 90% of the total workforce of the country, right? तो MSME सेक्टर ही है कि जो इंडिया के टोटल वर्कफोर्स में 90% जो वर्क है, 90% जो जॉब है, जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, वो माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस देते हैं. माइक्रो, स्मॉल, मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस are the one which, the lifeline of the people, of those who are working in the unorganized sector. Got it? And that is why MSME is very, very important. So that's what you can see, that micro, small, medium enterprises is again one of the important growth engine, right? This is also one of the important what? It is also one of the important growth engine of Indian economy, right? I always say, right, you need to know what are the various growth engines of Indian economy. So MSME plays a vital role in driving the economic development and catalyzing and innovation is the highlight of this year's International MSME Day, alongside banks' growing involvement in financially empowering the sector. So please read this whole article to understand that what is the significance of the MSME and India. Clear?
Yes, sir.
MSME is drive the country's socio-economic growth. कैसे ये करता है? That is also explained here. Micro, small, and medium enterprises. Second, see a garment industry, garment manufacturing. That how garment manufacturing is again in MSME sector कैसे करता है? That's what you can see here. The banks offer loans and credit facilities to MSME, enabling them to invest in infrastructure and machinery and expand operations. Got it? So this is with respect to the various banks, especially UCO Bank selected दिया हुआ उन्होंने, so you can just read it out. Now let's move on to the next page. Here there is new concerns in Manipur, then insurgents aiding mobs on either side in Manipur. So both the sides of the tribal communities, they are being supported by the insurgents are being supported by the mobs. That's what you can see it out. Just check it out to understand the problem in the Manipur. Opposition is watching KCR rides into Maharashtra, leading 600 cars. That's what you can see. Just check this article. Decentralization of governance in cities may be discussed at G20 Mayor's Meet. GS paper 2, there is one topic called devolution of power and finances till the local bodies. Right? GS paper 2 में ये topic है devolution of power, that is decentralization of power, union government, state government, and local bodies. So municipal corporations and Jilla Parishad, these are the local bodies. So G20 mayors meeting में this topic, this issue will be discussed. That is called decentralization of the governance. Governance needs to be decentralized. in cities may be discussed at G20 mayors meet. So just read this article that what is going to be discussed at G20 meeting with respect to the decentralization of governance. Decentralization of governance होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए. Now let's move on to the next page. Today's editorial page is related to the Barack Obama's statement with respect to the India's issues of the minorities, securities, or violence against the minorities in India. So the former president of America had given a statement that India should ensure that the minorities are not exploited in India. ऐसे उन्होंने कुछ statement दिया है. BJP's attack on him makes Delhi look insecure. Smart diplomacy also means listening and not rushing to the grandstand. So whatever the whatever is being said by Barack Obama on the sideline of India's Prime Minister visit to America, उसके बाद में BJP leaders have attacked back on the Obama. So as per editorial, this is not a right way for resolving this issue. As per editorial, smart diplomacy also means listening and not rushing to the grandstand. That's what the Indian Express editorial feels. So just read this article. Next article is with respect to हमारे UPSC के लिए important है, India-Egypt bilateral relationship. Anyone remember? I've asked you to make a notes on India-Egypt bilateral relationship from ChatGPT. On Saturday, there were an article with respect to the India-Egypt bilateral relationship. Indian Prime Minister has visited to Egypt. तो उसी से related ये article है. India-Egypt relationship has a rich and layered backstory. Its renewal comes in a critical moment. So renewal of India-Egypt bilateral relationship comes in a critical moment. That's what it said, right? Recently, India ने अफ्रीकन को लेकर एक इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे इंडिया ने एक स्टैंड लिया हुआ है. Anyone remember what is the stand taken by Indian Prime Minister as well as government of India with respect to Africa?
So he wanted to add, yes sir. So he wanted to add a G20 in G20 into G21.
Okay, so the India says that African Union should also be the part of the G20 group of countries, right? अभी जो G20 group of countries है, in that G20 group of countries, Africa से कोई भी country नहीं है. So जैसे European Union is one of the part of the G20, उसी तरीके से African Union should also be the part of that G20 group of countries. That's what Prime Minister had said. So it means that the African Union should also be included into the G20 group of countries. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So please read this whole article, cut this article, that why renewal of the India and Cairo, that is, the Egypt bilateral relationship comes in a critical moment. So strategic partnership is a very important. Last paragraph जो है, that's again a very important futuristic है कि क्यों इंडिया और इजिप्ट के रिलेशंस का रिन्यूअल इंडिया के बेहतरी के लिए है. So India Egypt strategic partnership is built on 4 pillars. आज आपको यही नोट्स बनाना है, the 4 pillars of India Egypt bilateral relationship. कैसे बनाना है नोट समझ में आएगा, how to make the notes. आज जैसे आपने ये पढ़ा तो वैसे आप क्या लिखेंगे, 4 pillars of India Egypt bilateral relationship. So the India Egypt strategic partnership to be built on 4 pillars that have formed the core of the relationships. What are those 4 pillars? That is politics, then defense, security, then economic engagement, then academic and scientific exchanges, cultural and people to people contacts. These are the 4 pillars of the India Egypt bilateral relationship. For India, Suez Canal, which straddles the Gulf Straits in North Africa, offers a ready-made trade gateway to the region. Egypt is actively canvassing India's industrial investment in Suez Canal economic zone. A high-powered S-zone team visited India on proportional tour last week, offering Indian goods access to the several countries in the region. The Indian side is also hoping to push defense trade boost to the Atmanirbhar defense production. India का जो defense production है, हमने देखा था कि 2 years back India has opened its defense sector to the private sector as well, right? So India का जो defense production है वो export हो जाएगा. Trade to boost the Atmanirbhar defense production, pinning its hope on Egyptian interest in the Tejas light combat aircraft. India के जो Tejas light combat aircraft है, that will be exported to Egypt, reportedly expressed when Defense Minister Rajnath Singh visited last September. The Cairo stopover on Modi's return from the Washington had sent out another important signal. Egypt, invited by Delhi as one of the 9 guest countries in the G20 this year, stayed away from the grouping tourism officials meet in Srinagar. Now the renewal of the bilateral ties smooths over any awkwardness that may have persisted in the long-term engagement from Egypt's May decision. So that's what we can check it out here. Now let's move on to the next page. Transforming the bank, multilateral development banks. Anyone remember this MDBs? I have asked you to go and check it out. What are multilateral development banks? याद है? In what context there was a news with respect to the multilateral development bank? Which international forum has discussed the idea of multilateral development banks? मैंने बताया था आप लोगों को देखने के, एंड आई नो कि आप लोगों ने वो देखा नहीं है. So multilateral development banks must address challenges of climate change and growth aspirations of the global south, else they will become irrelevant. So as per NK Singh याद है?
Yes, sir.
Also in the news,
Chairman
right?
of 15th.
He was the chairman of 15th Finance Commission. Was there any prelims exam with respect to the 15th Finance Commission?
Yes, sir. Recommendation पूछा गया था, sir.
Recommendation of 15th Finance Commission, right?
Yes, sir.
Prelims exam से मैंने बताया था कि आप लोगों को 15th Finance Commission के recommendation देखना है. Fine. So NK Singh, who was the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, he says that the multilateral development banks must address the challenge of the climate change and growth aspirations of global south, else they will become irrelevant. Multilateral development banks है, अगर वो global warming और climate change के issues अगर global south मतलब which countries? Developed countries or underdeveloped countries?
Developing countries.
Right, so underdeveloped countries के जो challenges हैं, जो problems है, उसको अगर वो multilateral development banks address नहीं करेंगे, so there will be no relevance of those MDB. कोई existing multilateral development banks का नाम आपको पता है या examples पता है? Any existing multilateral or development banks international level पे?
Sir,
We have already discussed about it.
Sir, World Bank.
Asian Development Bank, yes. AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank.
Very good. उसके अलावा एक बहुत important development bank है.
BRICS.
India is a part of that, the bank.
Asian Development Banks.
No, Asian Development Bank तो है ही, but उसके अलावा एक और very important, the multilateral development bank, जिसमें India is a part of that bank. It is the bank which is created by the BRICS group of countries. Anyone remember?
New Development Bank,
Earlier it
NDB.
was called as BRICS Bank.
New
But now
Development Bank.
it's called as a New Development Bank,
Yes.
NDB. Anyways, so the idea of multilateral development bank was discussed in G20 forum recently, and as per that G20 forum, there should be creation of more multilateral development bank. ये जो multilateral development bank जो है, ये global south के जो climate change और growth के जो issues हैं, वो address करना चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं करेंगे, then there will be no relevance of such type of multilateral development bank. That's what NK Singh has said. So I'm expecting that in this year's mains exam, there will be a question related to the significance and importance and issues associated with the multilateral development bank, which is being proposed at G20 group forum. Is it clear? Here it's a very important to know the column. That's what is written here. Can you all see this column on your screen? Is it visible? So for India,
Yes, sir.
reforming MDBs, that is multilateral development banks, would mean advocating the voice of the global south. You know, हमने एक issues देखा था, World Bank और IMF, these are the international financial institutions. तो World Bank का सबसे बड़ा issue ये है कि World Bank is dominated by the European countries and American, like by the developed countries. That is why the countries like India, China, Russia has created a new development bank. And there were some other development banks like, you know, the Asian Development Bank, etc. have been created. So that's what you can see here. For India, reforming the multilateral development banks would mean advocating the voice of the global south. It is the first attempt to lend coherence to multiplicity of efforts and initiatives for strengthening the MDBs. The expert group is expected to take a holistic approach on wide range of issues and outline pragmatic implementable program. The expert group proposes to submit 2 reports. The first focuses on issues of vision, financial capacity, and modalities of funding the multilateral development banks. The second deals with the issues related to the harnessing private capital, risk mitigation, and optimally using guarantees to leverage the private capital and hybrid innovating financing. तो कैसे ये multilateral development bank बनाया जा सकता है? That's what, you know, expert group, you know, propose करेगा. So writer is the president of the Institute of Economic Growth, and he was the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission. Recently, he has been appointed to the board of multilateral development banks. So अगर आप IAS बनोगे, so you will also get a chance of, you know, becoming the chairman of such type of committees at international level. As per Rajashree Chandra, majority will, not majoritarianism. That's what, you know, he said. Sorry, she said. So let's see what she's trying to say. As I always say that India is a democracy, but majority is not always right. So majority होना चाहिए, but majoritarianism नहीं होना चाहिए. समझ में आ गया? All have understood what is the meaning of this? Like, you know, हो सकता है this might be the topic of essay in the mains exam, that majority should be there, but not majoritarianism. Got it? So majority principle governs the process in democracy, but its heart is equal value of all the citizens. So you can read this article to understand that what should be the context of writing this article by Rajashree Chandra. A friendship in the making, India-Egypt bilateral relationships पे comment है by Navdeep Suri. Prime Minister Modi's visit to Cairo could bring fresh energy to India and Egypt ties. That's what Navdeep Suri had said, who is a former ambassador of India to Egypt. So please read this article to understand that how this visit of Prime Minister will bring new fresh energy to India and Egypt's bilateral relationship. in 10 years of MIT's ST demand repeated pleas to the state and center. We know that one of the important issue of the clashes in the Manipur is demand of the Meitei community to give them a scheduled tribe demand. So just read this article. Indigo and Tata duopoly. We have already discussed about it, that in India, there is a duopoly of two airline companies. One is called Indigo and another is called as Tata. So understand that what are the issues with respect to the civil aviation industry in India. Economy page, Central approves 56,000 crore to 16 states for capital investment. What is capital investment? ऐसे question पूछा जाता है, and we have already discussed about it. So the central government has approved around 56,000 crore rupees to the 16 states in India for capital investment. So that was under the special assistance scheme. So which state have been given? You can just read it out, and what where this money will be used as a capital investment. That's what you can check it out here. Fine. So this is all there in the today's newspaper. We'll stop it here now. We'll continue at 9 or 9:30 for the environmental studies class. So all of you join the environmental studies class. Ecology and environmental studies हमने शुरुआत की है. So that we will continue the various basic concepts of ecosystem and ecology. That's we will continue at 9:30, or shall we start at 9? What do you feel?
9:30.
9:30. Anant, is it okay at 9:30?
Yes, sir.
All of you, please raise your hand if 9:30 is okay to all of you. Check it. So I'll be sending the link in a while. Use that link to join the 9:30 class. Still, I have seen that few people have not paid the fees so that I can subscribe to the Wise app. That's why I'm facing the problem. That's why I'm taking the class on the Wise app. So all of you, please pay your, like whatever fees I'm taking from you. That's a very minimum amount, and that is also, that money is also using for Wise subscription. So please pay your fees so that I can take the class on Wise app.